Okay, so it's finished here at the Hive. Barnet's 1, Altrincham 1. We're speaking with the Altrincham Manager Phil Parkinson. Phil, we've done it to other teams often enough this season, but we're on the receiving end of a very late goal, and it's a tough feeling, isn't it, for everybody?
Yeah, I think when you concede late on, and as you said, we've done it to other teams, it does feel like a defeat, but the positives that I will certainly take from this game is we've travelled such a long way, put on a great performance with almost a new back four. Lads playing who are coming fresh in after one training session, lads who are playing who have been off for 10 days with COVID, having one training session, not being able to do anything. So it was always going to be difficult for us. From that viewpoint, would lads bed in? Would they have the fitness levels required? The positives with this game, and obviously the Stockport one, even though it's a monster of a game for us, I would have liked it a little bit further back, because the worry is obviously so many lads coming back to fitness, is playing such 2 high intensity games with the travel in between. You're always risking injuries, but that's this league, that's football, you have to get on with it. So it will have done them the world of good for a lot of them to have got through so many minutes as they did and come on the pitch. So that's the first time round Cole Clough's kicked a ball since being in isolation. So on the grand scale of things, I probably would have took a point with what we were up against. They're a resurgent team. I know they've not won the last couple, but they've been on a great run. Dean's done a fantastic job since taking over, and they're a really well organised team, and the pitch wasn't great. It's normally brilliant here, but with the weather it made it very difficult to play, so we had to play their game a little bit more than ours, and again that was a positive for me. We looked comfortable doing that at times. The long balls into the box, we more than coped, and it's just really disappointing at the end where they had that one shot, really, that one snapshot. I think, as Tomo had to say, to make maybe one in the first half, and it's been able to go in. But listen, that's this league. You can't get too down about it. You can't get too up when you win, but I'm certainly not going to get down about a point away at Barnet, because when I get to the end of the season, I know we're disappointed with the run that we have been on in terms of the wins. But if the lads perform like that off the ball, and when we start to play again with the new players we brought in, and when they bed in, listen, we'll be a real force for anybody in this division.
It must have been a very difficult team selection, in the sense that you were sort of slightly guessing, I guess, to some extent, about where people were with fitness and things like that. But one of the things that really struck me was that with Jordan Hume up front, we know what he brings to the club, but it kind of, the balance of the team was very familiar. It looked like the team, it looked much more like the team that we've seen under you for many years, and he does just, he is a piece of the puzzle that makes the whole thing add up in a way.
Well, he's a very good player, and that's why we sold him, because he's a good player, and it was the offer was right for the football club, and it was right for Jordan. Ultimately, he's the one who's got to make the decision. But because of how he's been treated and the way he played when he was here, they're the type of performances you get. Everyone says you shouldn't go back, but if he goes somewhere else, like a Halifax or another team in this division, which he could have done, I'm not saying Halifax, by the way, but if he went to another team and he scores, everyone's saying, why didn't we go get him? So I wanted him. I didn't want to sell him. We sold him for the right reasons, for him and for the football club. Everyone can see he's been difficult to replace, and everyone can see what he brings to the football team. So for me, again, you look at all round the players, even though they were new players, Elliot coming back to us, well, not us, but coming back to the system that me and Neil play, slotted in absolutely fine, and he'll really add to us. He's played once in December, so he's just going to get stronger and stronger and more confident. And like you said, Jordan there, Jamie Morgan, that's his first debut at the National League, travelling all this way. And again, I felt he grew into the game. You could see some of them lung busting runs he's capable of, and he's not fit yet. He's not at the fitness levels required for this level, but he will. And Andy White's barely played. He's had a month of football at SC United in the Northern Premier League. Didn't look out of place. He's not even opened his legs there, really. 1 or 2 runs, but wait till Andy White's fit. So we can keep these players on the pitch and fit, then listen, we give ourselves a great chance in this division. But that's the key. People keep asking me questions, what's this, what's that, why? There's no magic wand. It's about keeping our best players on the pitch, and well, why don't we go replace them? You'd be replacing players every single week if you replaced an injured player, or if somebody had a dip in form or made a mistake. We're doing really well at this level, and we'll continue to do so. We've got to stick with these players now. I really believe in the group that we've got. They're really familiar as well, even though we've got new players. Jordan coming back, Elliot's played in this system. Jamie's played this way when he was at Crewe, and being at Nantwich playing with people like Toby. They're very familiar with each other, and that's why you can see that performance there. It could have gone the other way. You've come a long way from home. loads of balls in the box that we dealt with brilliantly, and we had a few counters. We could have done better with one or two of them, but when we get a Dan Mooney absolutely firing, Ryan Colclough absolutely firing, Matty Coslow, Josh Hancock, Jordan Hume, we've got some really good options, but we just need to get them 100% fit on the pitch and firing. And like I said, I think you'll see a resurgent Altrincham team, just as you've seen that from Barnet, but playing our way.
I wonder if one of the big bonuses for you was actually how we defended the balls into the box, because that's obviously been an area we have been vulnerable in recent weeks, and the goal that when it has arrived was, even that one, there was a great block on the initial shot, and then we had a bit of bad fortune and the ball fell to the lad to tuck it in. But I thought that in terms of the sort of real commitment to defending the box, that was almost back to last season and a lot of the performances that we saw then. I
think you've seen it at the start of this season, because you have to defend like that to win games. I totally agree with what you're saying. It feels that way because we haven't been getting the results, and when you get thumped by Stockport, it feels like you can't defend. But in most games we have to defend like that. But the big thing for me is concentration, and I know we scored right at the end, so it looks like I'm contradicting myself, but we're 30 seconds away. But that's football. You've got to concentrate for the entirety of the game, and they've had a little bit of luck. We're not getting much luck at the moment. I really do feel that way, and you make your own luck by working hard. I've always sort of stood by that. But I've just said to the players, with the off the ball stuff that you've just said there, that gives you a platform. But we've got to be like that every week, because that's what teams are good at. The majority of teams in this division put it in the box, and you've got to defend your box. If you can't defend your box, you're not giving yourself a platform to play. But if we do that, if we do the defending of the box bit right, which we do, there's just the odd moment where we haven't, then our attacking play will take care of itself, because we've got too many good players not to. The bit that's going to hurt us is if we can't keep players fit. If we can't keep players fit and on the pitch, that's the bit that we'll find difficult. But I think with the games going to one a week after the Stockport game, Kings Lynn, I think you'll see us get a little bit stronger for that as well, because of the work our strength and conditioning boys will be able to get in with them, because like we say, we just get an evening to do that, whereas these guys look at the facilities that are around us. It's Football League standard, but that's every week. We feel like we're playing Football League teams, but that's what I want. I might sound like downbeat, but I love this. I love coming to Barnet. I'd rather be coming here than, no disrespect, Bradford or Barwell away. This is where I want to be, and that's where the players want to be, but we've got to fight to be in. We have to fight every inch, just like our fans did for us as well. They were brilliant today, travelling all this way and give us 100% support, and it nearly got us over the line there.
You mentioned about injuries. Any Matty Coslow looked like he pulled a hamstring. Any indication of how serious a problem that is?
Yeah, this is the issue. This is the issue. I don't think he's pulled it, but we've not been able to train for 10 days. The conditioning's not quite there, but he's a really fit lad, and when you're really fit, your recovery's a little bit better, and hopefully he's just come off at the right time. It looked maybe worse than what it was, but I think he's felt it. But who knows in 24 hours, so we'll have to check on that.
So what that change, and it was the timing of it was a little bit unfortunate, because you just made the change to bring Ryan Colclough on for Dan Mooney, but what it did allow is Ben Pringle onto the pitch, and I thought his contribution was superb, obviously most notably with that wonderful finish. What a brilliant bit of striking from Ben Pringle.
Well, I just said to him in the change room, I've been waiting for that, because he's very capable of that. He's had a couple of opportunities, and that would have been lovely if he could have got the winning goal there and fitting for someone of Ben's calibre. And I know he'll be frustrated that he's not starting every game, but you've got to look at the games we're playing. You've just said there about the defensive side of it. We had to dig in, and you bring on players like Ben to win your games, and he's nearly won at us. And you've just got to pick the right players for the right games in the right situations, and we almost got it right today. We had to think about a lot of things in terms of substitutions. Unfortunately, that's why Dino missed out, because we were aware of the fullbacks not playing a great deal of minutes, and the wingers. So Ben and Ryan were always going to come on, because we knew Dan wouldn't last the whole game. We were hoping to get Dan up to an hour, which we did. Maybe we should have took Matt off at that point as well, but he's a really fit lad, and he wasn't showing any signs of needing to come off at that moment. But these are all the things we've got to be thinking about, not just picking a team, who might need to come on and who's going to make them impacts. And like I said, we almost got it right today, but when I get to the end of the season, I might say we got it right, because this could be a really valuable point for us.
A big game on Tuesday, obviously, Stockport County. Does what happened in that game on Boxing Day, does that affect your thinking? Does it add extra desire for the players to prove a point that they're not as bad as that result suggests?
Listen, everybody's hurting after that game. As well as they played, we didn't play anywhere near our levels, so I'm not saying we would have got anything from that game even if we did, because we played Stockport exactly the wrong time. They were absolutely bang at it, and we were the polar opposite. But I've been saying for a number of weeks on the interviews that at some point we were going to have a drop off in sort of performance levels, and we did, unfortunately, against a very, very strong team. And you got your just rewards, or just dessert, sorry, and then you'd like to think a bit of pride will kick in, but everything's against us going into Tuesday. Let's not make any bones of this. We're playing a massive team, we're on a great run, who have invested League One Championship money into their squad. It's not Championship, but League One, League Two money into their squad, which people will say it's just money, but it does make a difference, the resources you have, the time they have with the players, and the expectations there. It's huge. You can see with their fan base, it's massive, and I'm sure with Dave Challoner that they're getting everything right at the moment. So everything's against us. Coming all this way, it'll be imperative that the lads get the recovery right. So where our lads will be going in work, some will be in work tomorrow and Monday, we'll get them in Monday night, and that's going to be really taxing for them, because they'll be absolutely exhausted, time away from the families, which I know people think that it's just commitment and they've got to do it, but that's taxing. So listen, our lads will give everything on Tuesday. The big thing that I just want to get through with Tuesday is we put a real positive performance in and we don't get any injuries, because that's my biggest fear. I didn't want this game so early on with lads coming back from COVID that we've had. There's always that risk of injury playing so close together, but they were very insistent that they play it straight away for obvious reasons, because they want to catch us after that last result. But listen, we'll get on with it as we do, but it'll be, I'm not going to beat around. It's going to be a mountain to climb for us. We've got to be at our very best to get anything. If we're at our very best and they are, then unfortunately the outcome goes their way. But listen, we'll give everything to get that result, and we've shown we can upset the big boys in this division, and that's what we're going to have to do on Tuesday night.